Hello, welcome back to Fangame Marathon, everybody. We are about to watch a showcase of Momentum Mod. Please, everybody, introduce yourselves.
Well, Nick's got started, so I'll do it. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm one of the developers on Momentum Mod. I'm the web dev lead, web systems lead. Did a lot of the UI for this.
sorry about that. Yeah, my name is Nick, aka Gocnak. I'm the project lead and development lead of Momentum Mod. Excited to be here again to show off more momentum to you guys.
And I am Granis. I make surf maps and I surf maps, so I'll be mostly quiet for the jump section.
Yeah, so let's just as a brief sort of itinerary, we're going to be starting out playing, I think, just rocket jump, maybe with a sticky jump, for half an hour. I'm going to go on to surf, and then we'll be playing defrag, which we've never shown before. If none of those things mean anything to you, we'll introduce stuff as we go. That'll be. Should we head straight into rocket jump? Should we just start a run?
Well, whenever you're ready, let me know. Countdown and.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how much a countdown means.
Yeah. We like timing things on here.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. Let's. Okay. Nia's counting us in. 3, 2, 1. I'll go. So I guess I'll start us out. So this is rocket jump. This is straight from Team Fortress 2. First off, Momentum's the kind of big sort of combo game of all these different game modes, where we've got source engine movement modes. So you've got TF2 stuff where you've got rocket jump and sticky jump, so Counter-Strike Source and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, various sort of Counter-Strike games. We've got bunny hop, surf, and climb. We'll be showing off surf soon. We've got some stuff from Half-Life 2. We've got A-hop, Conk, which is Half-Life 1 movement, and then we've also got defrag, which isn't even source, it's from Quake 3 Arena. So
Grandfather of sorts, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be showing, starting off with rocket jump, quite uncomplex mode in some ways, so a lot of very complicated mechanics, but very satisfying mode to watch. These kind of big sort of, a map like this, especially with all these lovely connects and stuff, everything flows very nicely. But then, yeah, we'll be showing some surf and then some defrag, so. You say something, Nick. I've not prepared for this whatsoever. You can talk better than me.
It's all good. Yeah, we're currently watching Rocket Jump, and Rocket Jump in TF2, if you haven't played it, is the soldier class, whose main weapon is the rocket launcher. Shoots a fixed speed rocket, but you can actually go faster than the rocket, so you're seeing a lot of things called syncs, which is shooting multiple rockets and hitting them at the same time to get an even bigger boost. You don't have health in Momentum. We don't have like a health mechanic. So a lot of these maps that are geared around speedrunning that have come up from, over the years, like basically decades of TF2 existing, right? We can take advantage of just like all of these speedrun maps and offer a like single player platform that like focuses on, like being able to get the best time on all of these maps. Specifically, right, like that's the goal with Momentum, is to offer this kind of like platform, right, that you can play all of these maps, enjoy, get PBs and world records. There is a global aspect. We are in a lobby for this, so you can notice on some of these maps there's going to be kind of like shapes floating around. Eventually we're going to have a full player model and customization and all of that, but so it's optional multiplayer, which is a really cool feature in my opinion, because you don't have to be in a lobby in order to play, but you can, so you get kind of the best of both worlds. If you want to just grind, you can, but you can also join public lobbies, or we'll have like roaming lobbies and stuff in the future that act like public servers, right, on maps. So we have a lot of like care put into both aspects of like the speedrunning side, but also we're going to be caring about the community too, because we still want to foster, right, a nice community for the competitive scene of this. So
yeah, Momentum is quite funny because you can play it like, I don't tend to be in lobbies when I play Momentum, and so it's quite, I quite like just having some music on and just relaxing, listening to podcasts or whatever. But then we play in a lobby like this and it's just full of people. We've not actually tested the like theoretical limits of Momentum lobbies. In theory, they can go to 250. This is just the limit that Valve puts on Steam lobbies, which is what powers all this. But we've never got to that, and the game's probably going to crash right now. We've not optimized it very much. But yeah, it's nice. You can go from like being quite sort of insular, just playing whatever, to dozens of people on one map. More than you can get on a conventional TF2 server even.
And it's beautiful too, because the way that we have this multiplayer is that it's just a layer on top, so it's not actually ping dependent at all. You have your own like local client, right? And we're just networking people as we get network packets. So you still have that like really nice lag-free gameplay, and you have the ability to talk with other people too.
And you also don't have to be on the same map to talk to each other, which is huge.
Yeah, a lot of momentum is like, it's if you played a lot of these modes in their sort of traditional game servers, you're usually playing on a specific server network. They've got their own kind of timer plugins and stuff and ranking stuff. I really, in some ways, really like that, but personally, I just don't want to have to like bother like pick servers to join and stuff, and like care about like the nuances of specific servers and things, and it's all just a bit sort of, I don't know. I don't particularly enjoy it. Momentum's great for like if you do want to play sort of casually, or kind of like not have to. You want to just get in the game and just play it straight away, and like you can just jump in the lobby if you want. But there's less effort into doing all this stuff. So, but also it's like the lobbies are just fun to hang out in. Like with being able to play on any map, you can just be in there and chat with people. We will have voice chat eventually. We've not done that yet, but yeah.
You may have noticed Vice just shot the wall and went through it. There's some things that we don't network yet as well with like entity state. That's just kind of reaffirming, right, how we do our multiplayer, right? So on Vice's screen, their door or something opened, but on Exile's screen, it did not. So that's something we're also going to be adding as you're spectating. Entity states are very important to synchronize as well. It's just kind of work in progress, right? It's fun to watch Vice fly through this map. One of the notes too about water. Water's very fun in Source. In like Half-Life 2 or like other health-based single-player games, you can land in like an inch of water to save your life. But in TF2, you can actually use the water like bobbing mechanic basically to like use rockets with the water to get an even larger boost. So a lot of jump maps here have like a little bit of water in some areas, and you can see like these runners get a ton of speed just from a couple of rockets off of it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the fun, somewhat questionable things about Momentum, is all of these modes aren't really designed to be like perfect, right? They're consequences of mechanics in modes that are usually played. Shooter first persons, right? You go around shooting each other. Rocket in TF2, you got Soldier with rocket launcher, gunboats or whatever, but it's not, rocket. It was never made so that rocket jump was like the main thing you're doing, right? It's just a sort of aspect of the overall combat of the game, and so there's mechanics in Momentum that don't really make much sense, but tend to be quite fun. But they feel very sort of weird and random, right? Like the fact that water just makes you jump higher, things like that. Like, but I really like that. I like that about Momentum, how nothing feels super like kind of, designed. We won't be showing A-Hop, but A-Hop's a good example of this. A-Hop is the silliest mechanics imaginable, but turns out to be extremely fun to play.
Yeah, it's from Half-Life 2, if you've ever seen any speedruns, or Portal 1.
Yeah, I think one of
the movement from
run
that.
Half-Life 2, right? I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
back in the day.
yeah, Rocket Jump is... I'm really bad at Rocket Jump. I can't, like, the way you see good jumpers, their movement is so, like, fluid. Like, they're moving between jumps, like, very fast. They're doing the connected super well, and it's kind of, it feels like... I guess it just feels like most games look like this. If you see someone really good playing it, they kind of make it look easy. But yeah, with Rocket Jump especially, like, when I play it, I feel like very kind of heavy and immobile. And like timing these syncs, especially things like that, are just things. It just takes so much practice. that's one of the things about Momentum that makes it such an appealing game for us to work on, is like knowing that, like, I'm guessing most of the jumpers here have probably 3,000 plus hours in Rocket Jump, things like that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of the top jumpers of easily in the thousands of hours. If you've got less than like 2,000 hours in jump, you're probably just a complete noob and no one will respect you. That's not true, but like it's amazing. Like you look at the Steam profiles of these people and it's shocking. Like something you can just sink hours into.
Speaking of sinking hours into this,
Yeah,
jump looks really hard.
Yeah.
yeah. You've got to like really pay attention to what he's doing. Like trying to time this second or third rocket he's firing here, such that he hits this right to get this triple, is ridiculous. And yeah.
So back when I played TF2, I loved the rocket jumper when they added it. And I would go around doing stuff like this, but not on this level.
Yeah, no, TF2 is great in that, like, you've got the market guards and stuff, so, like, being good at rocket jump can, like, serve you well in combat, and especially, like, with modern sixes and stuff, where, like, Roma is, I think all Romas are using the gunboats and stuff now, and it's like there's, the movement is so important to that game, and I think if you can, like, characterize, like, the people that play Momentum, not just liking the specific Momentum game modes, like, the thing that seems common for everyone is, like, everyone just absolutely loves movement-based combat game, and like the pure movement is great in itself, but like, you know, with defraggers and Quake, like there's so much nuance that comes to having movement be a really core part of a combat game. But chat is a bit. I love the way that the chat was. I should say, at the moment with like, Momentum development, we're doing quite a lot of stuff that's not very UI focused. So if you saw us last year, I don't think the UI has changed very much. The spec UI still looks atrocious. It's still got the press control to toggle mouse input, because we decided to make the way to toggle mouse input in spec different from the way to toggle it out of spec, and so we have to put a big label that says do it this way. And I think we're going to move back to it just being tab for everything. But yeah, it's all a bit unpolished right now, which is devastating to look at, frankly. But yeah, so we are playing Sticky Jump, right? So this is Sticky Jump. This is the demo from TF2. It's Sticky Jump is like, it's so hard to like explain what the difference between. I mean, there's loads of differences, but like what the sort of core essence of the two modes are. Sticky Jump's all about timing
and planning the future.
Yeah.
You gotta basically, because when you shoot a sticky bomb, it's not ready to detonate until, I think, was it like 0.8 seconds, or like there's a time to arm. So you can actually start to plan the next one, and so you have to think kind of a sticky or two ahead. And you're seeing that a lot with Vice here. They're shooting, one on the ground, but then like they start shooting like one or two in the air or towards a wall to like, because they know they're gonna go that way, and by the time it arms, they'll detonate it. And then for like that section right where they're flying up through the air, it's a matter of like balancing, right, looking at your speed, predicting when it'll arm and be underneath you to be able to lift you up.
That's the thing that's so hard, is the way that like they move in this kind of, I presume, I don't know if they're sort of parabolic, I don't know quite how presumably it is, I don't, whatever, the
slight arc.
It's trying to like figure out exactly where the sticky's going to be in air. It's just hard. So if you see like people that are good at air pogo, it's just like hitting like these angles on the walls like this is something that just takes like a stupid amount of time to get really consistent at.
And adding on to the difficulty, you can just barely turn in air. If you're used to surfing or bunny hop, you can turn as much as you would like. But with the TF2 modes, you
can tell looking at Vice. Vice has played this map a lot. This is Koi, which is a really old map. One of like the sort of oldest but still genuinely good sticky jump maps, I guess you could say. Like, and like the waves just like immediately just going into that like double, like, is that a catch? Whatever it is, the like, yeah, I'm sure he's had probably hundreds of hours of this map alone, or dozens at least. There's
I
so
guess
much,
something-
there's so much
some-
routing complexity to it.
Yeah, and just years of, and that's why it's like it's awesome to have that global community to see each other's routes and be able to kind of like improve off of each other's times. One of the things that we get to do with, the reason why we're here, right? This is a fan game, kind of like supporting all of these modes. One of the things we get to do is remove a lot of kind of the things that were annoying in the original like implementation in TF2. One of the things, right, with that is that the demo men actually, the sticky launcher shoots in a random direction each time. So it's not
Pretty
even
slightly,
like,
right? But yeah,
it's slightly, and there's elements of that. When we get into surf as well, there's things called ramp bugs, right? But there's also things called wall bugs and texture bugs here that are otherwise like just kind of like these game-breaking bugs that just completely destroy maps. And we can fix things like that and make it more consistent for everybody. And it's just like, it's awesome to be able to like provide a platform that has like all of these fixes, makes it feel really good. People are, really liking it. And I mean, we can add toggles to things, we can put more things in mapper control. It really just opens up a lot because now mappers have only have to make a map for a single person, as opposed to, hey, like if there's going to be like a button or something that someone can shoot to open, right? You don't have to worry about another player doing that for the player. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we get more maybe momentum unique maps, how mappers are going to take all these fixes and entities that we're designing and make amazing maps.
I love this map. I love it flows so well. Like
Yes, yeah. This is Lark, right? Yeah.
Hitting like these, all these like air pogos and I like these kind of jumps here, like stage 5, like just seeing how timing that is just so difficult. It takes so much like practice to get the timings good. For instance, I was going to talk about that. So the really funny thing with Momentum is we have very, very little physics. Like, Source is kind of an engine that's known for its like great physics simulations, like with Half-Life 2, right? The gravity gun and everything, like these really cutting-edge physics stuff. We don't have that in really Momentum at all, in part because it's a bit random. Like, Source uses something called V-Physics, which is based on Havoc. Well, I get the two mixed up. They're different. Anyway, the one case in which there are physics is a significant thing in Momentum is sticky bombs. All the other modes don't have any other significant physics. Sticky bombs are the only ones that do, especially because there's some surfaces where they'll roll off the surfaces. They're called rollers, so where they're not sticky. So one of the things we're working on at the moment but haven't finished, but need to have for our anti-cheat is basically changing the physics system entirely, which hopefully will have very little effect on the mode overall. But it's something we do need to do because V-Physics isn't deterministic. It will have random outputs each time, which is horrendous.
Yeah, and it's specifically just for sticky jump.
Yeah.
Like it is the only one that has this non-deterministic physics.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're going to be looking into improving, making more consistent as well, but still behaving hopefully as close as possible.
Well, they'll be basically, and they're not that random anyway. It's just that like randomness is kind of infectious. Like the moment you have some non-deterministic behavior in replays, then you can't replay them back consistently and be completely confident that what happened is what happened. So
yeah.
But yeah, these guys are just slamming these maps, like...
Yeah,
and then...
Oh, go for it.
No, you go for it.
I was just going to comment on the last doesn't spin. A lot of maps, when we were reporting it originally, we wanted to remove a lot of aspects of like movement in the maps that are inconsistent, or like something that you'd have to time the start of your run weirdly. But that's something that we're actually also going to re-add with our new system. We're going to allow like moving platforms and things like that synchronize with, I believe, your timer start or going into the start zone. I'll have to see when exactly, but that last not spinning will be fixed for the future. But it's it really is just like, it's one of the conscious map designs there of like, do you really want players to have a random like run, right? Or should you have something that's like maybe a little more deterministic, like you get to that stage and then it starts spinning or something like that, so they can kind of plan for it, but still have a little bit of variety there of like movement. So
yeah, it also means that you could have maps that have like cycles, right? Like in
yeah,
you know, like Sunshine has a bunch of like specific like cycles you want to. I don't pay attention to speedrun games anymore, but like you know if you want to go for a run and like do stuff in like a sufficient speed so that you're going to hit like a specific cycle of some spinning thing or whatever, that I think as like could be quite interesting in maps. It's just currently you just can't do that because on a game server like everyone's playing on the same map, and like when you start your run is going to affect like whether some spinny thing, like what level of rotation it's at, right? So it'd be an interesting dynamic to add in the future. But yeah, so this is sticky jump. That's what it's sticky jump's too hard. Rocket jump, like I can understand and like play a bit, but then you try to do like hard sticky jump and it's just the stickies just go in the wrong place and it's too difficult.
Also, if you want to know just how hard this is, look to the bottom right. You can see the runner's inputs and how much you gotta crouch to time your spacing and everything, and then just all the button presses.
Yeah, it's a
adds
lot
up.
of
It looks
AD
insane.
spamming and stuff as well. But yeah, I think the hardest thing that like just getting the sticky like with an air poker like this, getting the sticky to go exactly where you want is just it's just they're way less friendly than they seem. I'm not being very articulate today.
That's fine.
And yeah, I guess we'll be going to surf in about 10 minutes then, or where are we at for time? Seem to be going through these maps very fast. Okay,
nice.
cool. By Momentum Man. Yeah, all of the maps are getting re-added soon. We're going to be wiping the entire database and re-adding everything. Gonna be fun.
Yeah, we have a very large update coming with
Yeah.
Go10. We do monthly Q&A streams on the Momentum Mod Twitch channel, and that is the best way to kind of keep up with like whatever, like the progress of development. We also have a Discord channel, and like that's also a good way to keep up with development. But
Yeah.
the latest Q&A goes into depth about kind of where we are for O10. A lot of these systems, like what I was talking about with like moving platforms, right? Like a lot of systems with timer zones, right? Replays, things like that. We've been redesigning from the ground up to support all of the modes that we have now. And that's, I mean, we are functionally like, I'd say overall like 85% of the way there. We have
We've been
some
like 85% of the way there for like 3 months. But it's like, because we've redone so many different systems, we have to wire everything back up, and it's just a nightmare. With all of our backend, all the server stuff's completely redone, and it's just, it's brutal. But we are getting there.
And it's a huge update, and just wanted to reiterate here that if you request access to the playtest, because we are in a semi-open playtest right now, if you request access, you can actually get access at O10. We will be pretty much kind of like silent dropping it at O10. We talked about this in the Q&A, so if you like what you see and would like to play it, definitely check it out on Steam. Search for Momentum Mod and then hit the request access button, and maybe even the wishlist button if you'd like.
Yeah, and you should get access to O10, or a few days after O10 drops, as long as the servers aren't on fire.
Yeah.
But also like, Momentum's a very difficult game for like in a way that like seeing this lot play like this looks, all these maps are insanely hard, and these people are all insanely good. But for Momentum's not too bad to get into, and we're going to be working that more in the future with our learn section, stuff like that. Like if you are new to these modes, like they're very fun to like get into. It's just like, yeah, there's so much like just it's the skill ceiling's so high, but like there's you learn very fast in like all of these modes, and you just go get better and better and better. And
a couple other surf mappers and I were trying to make this learn section the tutorial map for surf, and we realized how hard it actually is to teach someone surf without the player already knowing about all the source engine, physics, strafing, and all that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work a lot on learn after 10. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But
if you don't know these modes, one of our planned features is a learn section that will be able to help teach you, right? We want to be able to make Momentum a nice platform to learn a lot of these things as well, right? We don't want to just have really hard maps and no way for people to get into it other than just like YouTube or something. So we do have a section in the game called Learn. It's not even remotely close to finished. We're probably even going to redo a lot of it, and that will be our kind of in-game tutorial, helping people learn through the game itself how to do a lot of mechanics, just like a combination of mechanics, being able to mess around with different things for each of the modes. It's really important.
Yeah, Learn's gonna be good. Right now it's too short right now. We're gonna have more stuff in Learn and more like repeated stuff, right? Like if you want to do your first surf ramp, you can do that same surf ramp like 10 times in a row, and we'll have like systems for that, and it'll be fun. But let's talk about this map, because this is a map made by one of our team members who unfortunately isn't here, but Mac helped organize this. So yeah, this is a map by Mac based around Hades. Have you heard of that game? I've not. No. Yeah, obviously I've heard of Hades. It's kind of looks like Hades. I don't know.
It has the color scheme.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. The lighting, maybe not so much, but there's only so much you can do with source lighting. Though, hopefully, clustered rendering and all that soon, and everything will look twice as good.
Yeah, I'm excited. One of the nice things about the development of the game is we started off as a mod, like kind of like a full, that's why hence the name Momentum Mod. But we've since gotten access to the entire code base for the game, for Source Engine, which means that we're able to do a lot of really fancy stuff. Like the game, for example, like if anyone's played TF2 or like Half-Life 2, right? The game normally runs on DX9, DirectX 9, but we've upgraded to DirectX 11, which allows us to not only, cutting edge DX 11, even though there's 12, but it allows us, at the very minimum to just debug our graphics stack, see what's actually happening with a lot of like rendering issues and things like that, because DX9 is very limited, and that's just like one of the that's one of the advantages here. We also have access to like Hammer to make mappers' lives easier, make it not crash as much. I know there's Hammer++, but we want to make sure that the Hammer that ships with the game is also just really, really good. And yeah, it's amazing to be able to do a lot more under the hood, and just generally improve not just the game, but like this engine that we can like hopefully show you all the benefits of in the future. So we have an in progress branch for improved rendering on top of like DX11 is one aspect of that, but there's also like how the game renders, right? So one of the ways of rendering light, right now it's forward rendering. We could look into clustered rendering and stuff. So there's a lot of exciting like in-depth rendering improvements and stuff.
Yeah, and then one thing that's already in the game is PBR rendering too.
Which is it's not very good right now, but yeah.
But it is huge. It's insane what people have already made with it.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm just waiting for clustered, because until we get clustered, I thought PBR's a bit crap. But yeah.
Yeah, and PBR stands for physically based rendering. It's another way to kind of render things a little like more accurately to how they reflect light in real life.
It's
Um,
essentially the standard way of making textures in pretty much all of game design.
Everyone's doing PBR
Yes.
nowadays, yeah. 'Cause,
And the Source engine does not support it.
yeah,
by
Source
default.
2 does, so yeah.
Yeah.
In traditional fashion, we did PBR like Source 2, but just a little bit worse. That isn't too bad. But yeah, hopefully with clustered stuff, we'll improve that a bit. Momentum's always in a funny spot because there's only so much time we can spend on like these big engine things. Like having the whole access to the Source engine code base like is a massive like playground, but one that you can spend far too much time just playing around in. And with O10 especially, we're really looking forward to having like all these kind of big gameplay mechanic changes, or just the really core systems to Momentum of like all had such a big rework. Okay. What do we got? We got one more jump map. What are we doing? Let's get a surf. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna jump in the game. What are we? Where's the spreadsheet? Surf me. Okay. Have to surf me. And yeah, do you want to introduce surf, Granis? Your territory.
You can say that. So surfing is probably the biggest mode because Counter-Strike was so huge, and it's the chill game mode you play in between matchmaking sessions. And while it's not too hard to get into, what you're gonna watch in a second here is someone who's really good at the game. And we'll just kind of explain it as we go, I think.
Yeah.
I'll let Bazooki know we're starting in a second.
Here we go.
Alright. So we're starting off on a popular map called Surf Me, made by a famous mapper called Not a Zombie. A very good introductory map. And the gist of the game mode is you have these slanted walls called ramps. And by strafing, in other words, we're moving towards something in the air, towards these ramps, will let you maintain momentum. And the better you are at surf, the better you are at understanding how to not lose speed while riding on these ramps.
That's what's so satisfying about it, is you kind of don't do much besides fly around, and that just it's just there's not, it's not like there's a big rocket launcher you have to fire and time that. It's just kind of pure movement, but it's like it's still very like constrained in like work.
Yeah, and this map especially is very floaty, is what I'd call it, where you have one big ramp and then one big jump. And the difficulty just comes from navigating the obstacles and the walls and maintaining speed, which Bazooki here is doing really well. And
quite a lot of games kind of almost have surf, the same way that they sort of have B-hop, and like any game that kind of lets you weirdly change momentum in certain directions, which is something that feels good for like in games, even though it is completely non-physical. Like it's weird to be able to do that, and Newton would be fuming if he saw it. But like exactly. If you have that mechanic, something like surf kind of works, right? It lets you.
There are some exceptions, obviously, but
there's been attempts to get funding for real stuff in real life, but they've never gone anywhere.
Oh yeah, some people call the surf ramps waves because of that. Because it makes sense. Now we're gonna jump over to Surf Beyond, another easy map. This one made by me and a friend of mine called Bro. And the map looks pretty cool. That's pretty much all it's got going for it. It just so happens that Bazooki really likes this map. So, what can we talk about more? Ooh, the thing with this map specifically is I made it for CSGO, and we used the V script to make teleports consistent.
Okay.
A thing that surfers are used to is entering portals while falling in order to maintain that falling speed into the next stage and land sooner, which you probably saw Bazooki do the last map as well. It's the main time save after a certain point. But here on Momentum, we can just change a little number on the teleport itself when making the map, and suddenly it's just consistent. You get the same amount of speed every time. You don't have to worry about any angle you come in at. Things that are just really quality of life changes for Surf. And obviously it's up to the mapper themselves to decide whether to use these features or not. But on this map it's used a lot. And I think Bazooki's getting the nerves a little bit here. you just got a really good run just before the event started, but that's what happens. Right. And to help him get that run, he used something called save locks, which is the... what do you call it? Like, it's a save state, but it only really saves your locations and speed.
Oh yeah. Which is save states are for just fancy save locks. Most of what you care about is the location and speed. Save states bit rockets and stuff in, and even in the future moving platforms, which is a nerdy new incoming thing.
Yeah, that's a thing we're gonna do with Momentum Mod, is have actual save states. In all of these game modes, people are used to playing on multiplayer servers. You can't really have the state of a map change.
Yeah, exactly.
For each
it's also just very hard to do. You have to do a lot at an engine level to kind of serialize and save stuff and then restore stuff in like an effective way. But we've got some very smart people working on Mombo Mod. By smart people, I mean Rio. Shout out to Rio.
Yeah, he's been doing work.
We got some other really good people, but yeah, Rio's been the kind of father of a lot of these recent stuff, and has been doing a lot of our zoning refactor stuff. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. If this event was like a month or so later, we might have had 010 out and have all this new stuff to show off. But
that would be next year.
Yeah.
Surely.
That's currently on a testing branch on Steam, and it's all completely broken. But yeah, I mean, we're not even speaking too much about like the community mapping aspect, and I guess with 010 coming out, it's a good time to bring it up. Like, obviously, Fangame Marathons, Momentum itself is kind of a fan game, but also all the content in Momentum is made by not usually the Momentum team, though we were just playing a map made by Granis. But it's all community content, right? And which is great that there's been this whole kind of history of different like mapping styles and stuff, and surf mappers have gotten way better than they used to be, and with 10 coming out, anyone can submit maps, and you can get your map in the game officially, and we'll still wipe your leaderboards at 1.0. For all the leaderboards will get wiped then, but maps can get added after a 10 by, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. And speaking of mapping styles, or map styles, this is the easiest so-called ramp strafe map.
Yeah.
Where in previous maps we played, the surf ramps were nicely curved to let you maintain speed, but this one throws that out the window and forces you to make tiny jumps in between each ramp segment.
And I really like these ramp strafes. There's something I think really satisfying, and it's very helpful to like get better at surf. I think because like it helps you kind of really. You're like so much of surf is about hitting ramps at just the right angle, and this way you get to like constantly be kind of practicing.
Exactly. So
sorry, you go.
Yeah. So in surf, you don't jump. The jump key does nothing because you're in the air.
Yeah.
So the way you actually jump is by strafing towards the ramp more than... I mean, you do a flick, is what we call it. You flick the mouse towards the ramp and kind of direct your speed in that direction. Because the ramp angles upwards, you just go upwards.
Yeah, it used to be that like ramp strafes, like, or these kind of approach to making surf ramps was kind of, people didn't know how to make smooth surf ramp. Like, and really early surf maps tend to have some very janky ramp design. But with something like this is, I assume, who says this is synchronized made this, right? This is
Yeah, synchronized.
a very competent
legendary
mapper.
mapper.
Yeah. But yeah, there's something really fun about the mechanic. You see, like, how if you look at the way Zuki, am I getting his name right?
Yeah, Zuki.
Yeah. Like there's something, the strafing is so precise here. This is quite an easy map. But we could show. Well, I assume we have some harder maps coming up, right? Where doing like super accurate strafing and hitting ramps perfectly becomes such a big deal.
And while this map itself is rather easy, I think it's either a really hard tier 1, which is the easiest difficulty, or like easy tier 2.
But obviously with leaderboards being a thing, like there's so much room to optimize on a map like this, and so...
Yeah, and Bazooki is playing it on a level where it's really hard and really precise. Maintaining speed is key.
This is a map that I really like. I've been playing this a bit lately, because this is a map that has like... It's quite a low tier map, but the kind of it's quite weird. Like the angles you have to hit on the surf ramps feel quite strange. So it's like I feel like the last map was like an easy hard map, whilst this is a hard easy map. No, it's an easy hard map. Well, this one's a hard easy. No, I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay, so back to map styles. This is probably the easiest map made by Spy Complex, a mapper known for making really hard, very technical surf. And while it's kinda noob friendly, it's still tier 3. But the difficulty does not come in the form of keeping speed. It comes in trying to figure out which route would like let you survive the longest, essentially. Which is a mapping style that's really prominent in old maps. But new maps are more focused on maintaining speed throughout the level.
But I find this like so compelling. I really enjoy playing a map like this, especially when you beat a stage on this. Like, if you do it right, like you beat it by like if you're doing the route wrong or something like this, even if you feel like you're kind of surfing correctly, if the route's wrong, like you'll like fail by so much. But if you get the route right and do it well, like you complete it so easily. Like, and I really
also
like
we have a new player playing right now. Instead of Bazooki, it's Louis, and he's really good at these types of maps where people would call the surf awkward or like not line up, but that couldn't be farther from the truth.
But it's deliberate and it works great. Like I'm fully like a fan of Spy Complex maps. I think they're just the best.
Yeah, and here he did it. He's going for an insanely hard skip right here. I think I've done it like once. Like skipping.
Oh my god,
that
is really tough. Just look at like. Did he get it? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got it.
He got it. That was.
And
that is evil.
He just did another really hard skip, but it didn't really show. Because
one thing,
it just looks intended.
We're not showing any sort of bonuses here yet, but one of the cool things with surf is there's some bonuses on some maps that are so weird and so precise, and like, oh my god, they're just mind blowing. Like, some of the like Crash 4 bonus like videos where he's doing these like ridiculously kind of strange, precise little tricks.
Yeah. So that map, insanely good map, and Louis actually has the world record for it on the KSF servers on Counter-Strike Source, and it's a really good run. And now we're going on to Surf Illusion, a rather new map made by who was it? It's
Burix, Maz, the who
Synchronize and
Synchronize and-
Furix, you said.
yeah, there's one more. I can't remember.
There's one more. I can't remember. It's probably not important.
I
But
love this
map,
stage. I love the angle of the ramps on this. I find it so satisfying to play.
yeah, and this is more of a flashy stage. Is what map. It's what I call it.
Yeah.
It's made to look really cool with the restrictions of the Source Engine.
Yeah, and that's been so great. Is like how much I love this. Going into this section, how
Yeah.
fast you can go. But the how much I think CSS surf mappers in particular, though, like all of the momentum game modes have great mappers in them. I do feel that the surf mappers have done are kind of the most impressive in the how far they push, like Counter-Strike, Source Era, Source Engine.
Yeah, ever since Nairo released Surf LT on Mythic back in
Yeah.
2012, it's just been
It set the bar so high and just gave mappers such an opportunity to do incredible things.
Yeah.
And hopefully with some of the momentum lighting improvements. It's not that we're going to commit too much to specific stuff about that, but it'll be interesting to see like if we do see some kind of subtle but kind of significant improvements here. I do find this stage very funny. The one we just did, the
one with the
Escher
painting
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because Esh is all about like stuff 2D images of things that don't work in 3D, and then someone's made it in 3D, and it kind of doesn't work. But there's something funny about doing that. I like that.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
a really good run.
That
and now
was-
we're
yeah.
didn't get to talk enough about the map. I think
Yeah.
it's too fast to make him justice. But now we're moving into one of the hardest maps that we have in the game. It's
We've just
tier
ramped
8.
up. We've just
So we've ramped up from tier 3 to tier 8. And
ramped.
yeah, exactly.
I guess we could talk about tiers a little bit. Just
Here's
the
just how
higher
hard
the
it
number, the harder it is. But there's different ways that it is harder.
Jesus Christ. How much is Louis? Is he warmed up for this match specifically? Or?
Yeah, so
That was-
I told him he should save state this map. He shouldn't be doing it
yeah.
in one go. But just before the stream started, he beat the map in 6 minutes.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, so we are really ramped up here. Like you saw the end of stage 1 there. I don't know this map, but just looking at that, like save states make a lot of sense here. These spins, which are like a really kind of iconic part of surf, like oh my god, that is so hard. You have to just practice so much to get those movements right because it's
Yeah, and that spin right there that he did on stage 2, for me personally to get that in practice with save states took me about 2 hours.
yeah.
We just
It's
did
just
it
a
in
lev- you need just this level
3
of precision
tries.
and consistency that like it's just I will never achieve. It's just this map is I've never seen this map. It looks fantastic though.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention this is made by Junior, really old school mapper who just came back out of nowhere and released this.
We get that so much with Momentum. It's like mappers and devs and people that just kind of come out of nowhere. We probably won't be showing Utopia, but one of our main Momentum devs right now, Panzer, is the author of Surf Utopia, one of probably the best known surf maps. Also B-Hop Arcane. And he's like, we work with Panzer like every day. Panzer's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just one of the main Momentum devs.
So now Louis is on the last stage already.
Oh my god,
Getting to this point took me many hours, and I was never able to do this last jump.
Oh, is this looks like the Symphane and
Yeah, it's a very iconic obstacle, originally from the bonus stage on Surf Nightmare, also made by Junior. The bonus.
okay.
And that Nightmare bonus was also featured in Surf's Insane, one of the original like really hard compilations of the hardest maps put together in one piece.
Yeah, like obviously with a stream like this, Fangames, you're going to be seeing a lot of people that are very, very technically skilled. I go out on a limb and say, doing something like this is one of like this is so hard. Like, it's just so precise and it's just like.
Yeah, and when I say I've not beaten this, I spent 2 hours on this jump alone, and I have probably in total like 4,000 hours in the game at least.
Yeah.
Louis probably has less than that.
And it's really simple what he's doing in a way, right? But it's just
He's just way too precise.
It's just pushing the bounds of like what you can expect from a keyboard or mouse.
Yeah.
Just.
And obviously, this is way too hard to do live in a show, so we're doing save states, just with a bunch of the jump maps.
Yeah.
And,
And it's got the Shodan record, yeah. Granis is pretty good.
I had the Shodan record actually. I mean, I'll retake it soon. Surely.
Oh my god! I'm glad we're seeing him fail though, because like it's.
Yeah. We're pretty ahead of schedule for our segment, right?
Yeah, yeah. How long are we? How much stuff we go through maps fast. Like these guys are just slamming through stuff.
Yeah.
We've got
I was thinking
maybe even a few other surf maps we could show off. Maybe what would like? We don't have many momentum specific surf maps.
No, it's like the what's the Plar one called? But that was way too confusing.
Oh my god! Should we show a replay of Trip Portals? I think we should.
We can. I think we'll do a little race on Omnific.
Yeah, yeah. And if we got a minute or two, I think we should show Trip Portals just to.
Yeah. Show what's possible.
Yeah. Oh, poor Louis. This is like. Is this harder than the Nightmare one?
Yes, because on the Nightmare one, you go straight rather than up to the roof of it.
Yeah.
So you need a tiny bit more height, just pushing the limits, but you also have a little bit more speed than the original, so it's hard to say what's harder, but I think this one is.
Okay, should we move on then? Or... Oh. Oh, well, I felt like it was it. But it's also surface tend to play on very low sensitivities, and doing a spin like this, do you know what sense Louis is on?
I have no clue, but he's on pretty average. I would guess around like 800 DPI and 1.0 sensitivity.
Which is yeah. So that's much lower than most people use. But he's really having to like do these very, very precise mouse movements here. But that's the thing about surf, it's just strafing and flying around, and there's so much to it. It's just like it feels like it's the kind of the best keyboard and mouse movement you could possibly have.
Yeah,
like,
there actually are a few. I've seen like a couple controller surfers, but they're just so crippled by the fact they don't have that precision.
Yeah.
Although they can do spins.
This is Omnific, and I think it's maybe fair to say it's the most iconic surf map ever made. You agree? Like it's both visually and for the gameplay and for the history of the runs on it and the. Do you agree, Granis, or am I talking about my ass?
Close enough.
Yeah.
Alright, go to spawn.
Omnific is... Because there's also other very visually good-looking maps, but Omnific is also... It's a 18-stage Tier 6, where Tier 6 was, at the time, the hardest, and it goes up in tier every 3 stages. There's 3 different mappers that worked on it. I forget... Nairo...
Yeah, Nairo, QR, and Checkem. They did 6 stages each.
Yeah, each one different tier.
Yeah, each one moving up a tier in difficulty.
But also know that whilst it is a stage map, it's just what we call a stage linear, so you can conserve your speed between each stage. So it's getting a... Louis is very unlikely to no-fail this, but there's been a kind of... Who was the first person to get an Omnific no-fail?
The most notable run is the one by Rain.
No, yeah.
Rain. If you've ever been recommended a video of Serve LT Omnific on YouTube, it's the one by Rain. It really hit the algorithm really early, got like so many views.
But
And it
also, I
was
don't
just
think a lot of to
insane.
most people like they wouldn't know that Counter-Strike Source could look this good. Like, it's
No, because this is from 2012.
yeah, but it's just the visuals are like it's it's not just pretty lighting, but it's like just the contrast of it, the color scheme. It's just excellent.
Yeah. So Nairo having a background in game development, like detailed, made the surroundings, made the style, and all of that. And for
It
this
is also
map,
just
it's
gameplay wise, it's just great. And
yeah,
like-
for the most part.
okay, yeah, right. I know you're a surf fan for this. Like, I'm old school or whatever, but come on, Omnific is like as a
Yeah, it's iconic.
as a
You
thing
can't
for
hate
its
it.
time. Yeah, but also just because getting a great Omnific run is like what's the world record on Omnific? About 4.5 minutes or something, or is that the TAS one?
Oh, I've not checked this out. I can check in a second.
But getting it's something you have to grind for a really long time, and
Oh yeah,
It's
the world record right now is 5 minutes 15 by Roldar,
wow. Okay.
which is insane. That means you keep speed through each stage, do pretty much the optimal route with all the risky skips on every stage as well.
Yeah. And there's some of the skips on this are hard, right? There's some still TAS only stuff. I can't remember what the
Yeah, I mean there are some. The only real TAS only one I can remember off the top of my head is the stage 17, but that one's actually not like there's no shot anyone will ever hit that. There was actually a video made by Batman, who's developed a TAS tool for this, and he can save so much time on just tiny optimizations everywhere, doing everything frame perfectly, and it just doesn't compare.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
But so this is Louis reached stage 9 here. There's 18 stages of this map, and it goes up drastically in difficulty. We just saw how good Louis is on Deity, which is a tier 8, right? Obviously, Louis, I think, warmed up on that map. Probably hasn't. I don't know when he last played this, but
yeah, and he not even a month ago, I think, tried to go for a no fail on it, like doing all the stages back to back without resetting. So he's playing warmed up. This map, I don't think he's done more than just a decent completion on, so he's not warmed up at all.
Yeah.
We can actually check out, see how it goes for Bazooki. If you want to see how he's doing.
But yeah.
So he's on stage 11. This is the first stage that I had troubles with when I first played this in like
I've never been in
13. And this jump coming up right here. Oh yeah, they just failed it. It's
but I'm glad we're seeing some
really
like,
precise.
longer maps with some fails as well, because they kind of
it gives you some perspective.
You see,
Because normally you just see the end result, you see the YouTube video, or you see the record replay.
Yeah.
Unless you're tuning into their streams, both of these players, Louis and Bazooki, stream live regularly.
Yep.
And without seeing that, you would think they're just gods hitting everything the first try, but that's not the case for anyone.
But it is like Surf's been around for a good while now, and it's just been consistent. People have just been getting better and better at Surf, and the maps have been getting harder and harder, and like it is kind of startling just how much has gone into Surf and just how high the skill ceiling's gotten.
Yeah, a big contributor to that is Momentum Mod, in fact. Like the very first versions of Momentum Mod let anyone use these practice tools like save lock and just changing settings and stuff, which was not available unless you had a server with plugins before. So people using Momentum Mod to make maps really changed the way we play the game.
Yeah, so right now most surfers are playing on KSF, which is a CSS, Counter-Strike Source server network. Momentum's leaderboards are getting wiped multiple times in the future. We're wiping them at 010. We don't have that many maps. There's all sorts of reasons why Momentum's not a great platform to play on right now. We're hoping that in the future it is obviously like the ultimate surf platform or whatever, but right now, and it's, I mean, this isn't us saying like we're going on all out war against KSF and want to replace KSF or whatever, because those leaderboards anyway are like so They've been around for so long, and
they're
there's
historic.
so many great runs on there. Yeah.
And with the death of CS:GO recently,
yeah.
Surf has been kind of struggling, but KSF has been booming.
Right. And with with the deaths of CS2 and stuff like that, like the thing we want most with Momentum is to get this like stable platform for people to play on, where they can just boot up Momentum and play whatever map they want, and not have the annoyance of rock the vote or whatever on specific servers and things like that. But
oh yeah, that actually happened. Funny thing that happened to me on this map, actually, I was 2 hours into a run,
the classic.
and I was playing on the server with another friend, I think, and then someone shows up, types RTV, rock the vote, in
Sorry,
chat,
Granis, I need to play Rookie.
which triggers the map vote to switch map on the server, which boots me out of my run. I've never been more mad at a video game. And I'm like playing it through Elden Ring right now. That's
But yeah, especially with maps like 10, I can't wait to see people will really want maps they want to play. They can port it and get it in the game. We'll delete everyone's runs at 1.0, but But yeah, no, it's great that mappers have been able to use Momentum as just a tool for
just for making maps easier or more easily.
So where are we at? I mean, Pla's doing well here.
Oh, Clara is in the lead.
In fact, look, if Pla can beat this, we get to show Pla's map. I think that's
I think that's fair. That's fair. So Clara is actually on stage 16. It's the first tier 6 map, tier 6 stage on the map, and let me tell you, it is a step up in difficulty from the previous ones. On this jump particularly, there's a thing in play called both the Maxwell cap and also the fact that you can't turn as fast while going so fast. It's really complicated, but the gist of it is with default settings you cannot go faster than 3,500 speed in each individual axis. So at the bottom of that ramp you hit 3,500, which means you don't accelerate anymore, which means you want to stay high on the ramp. You don't have a reason to go low. But at the same time he has to turn around through an obstacle and then hit another ramp perfectly in order to maintain speed. And moving around or just turning at that speed will slow you down drastically compared to when you're moving like around 1,000 units per second or
But mechanics like that, those kind of constraints, add so much richness to a mode, right? Because this is one of the hard things about Omnific. Is like if Playa just beat stage 16, has like a really good entrance into 17 with the extra speed, and then fails, and now you just gotta.
Yeah, that's the infuriating part about staged linears. It's what makes them really popular when they're easy maps. We got stuff like. What's a good one? Ace. And that I'm drawing blanks right now.
What's that new one recently? Who is it that did a?
Oh, Sam made one.
Sam made a really good one. I'm looking forward to playing that more.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of it, but Sam is also a really good mapper and also a KSF mod admin.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Surf Race.
Yes,
that's the one.
But that's such a satisfying. I was really enjoying. With Omnific, it's I don't know. There's something just that makes it so tantalizing. It's like how
because
hard
it's
it is
hard
to get that whole run and
on an easy map you can just restart. It doesn't take you too long to get back. This one, that's a 5-minute investment.
Yeah.
Assuming you actually beat it.
Yeah. But that's why there's so much overlap between like momentum kind of modes, like surf, big hop, rocket jump, whatever, and speedrunning. But like it's only when you get stuff like this, the surf linears like really kind of lean into that the most, right? And that kind of mechanic of like having to kind of going for like the ultimate run, where like obviously all of these modes are about getting top times, but having that like consequence of failing is so high.
And another thing I thought of right now is the map grid. I think Exile, if you just like go free look and go outside of the map to see how big it is, I think it should work, right? Oh no, it doesn't inspect. You have to be in game for that. Anyways, this map uses the entire space available that you can place. Yeah, for Counter-Strike swords that just lets you put things in it. There's a limit, and it's really restrictive on surf maps specifically because you're just going so fast. And momentum mod is increasing this limit by a lot.
Yeah, with
so you would be able. You can do 8 of these, I think. Isn't it? Or is it 4?
Well, it's going to vary. I mean, it's probably going to hit the brush limit first with something
oh
like
yeah,
this.
true. But
we have 8 times the brush limit of normal maps. In terms of volume, it's 64 times because it goes up by 4 on each axis. So it's 4 cubed. It's 64 if you didn't know. We have a map called Surf All-in-One, which is something one of our devs then just put together for fun, which is Omnific plus, I think, 11 other maps all in one map. Just bunged together.
Yeah, and it's big maps as well. I think Utopia also uses at least all the vertical space. No, all the horizontal space, not the vertical. Space
are you gonna do it?
Yeah, this is the last jump. This is after this little weave. It's the most chokeable jump ever. I failed it multiple times, but Power hits it like a champ.
Amazing. Getting that on stream and that was a pretty solid run. Should we show one more surf map then and move on to Defrag?
Yeah, Exile, move on to surf trip portals, and we'll just show the replay.
Yeah. And we've not spoken about the system. We're currently reworking all of our replays, but they work right now, sort of. So yeah, you can just look at any leaderboard run and just watch it back. And so yeah, this map doesn't have any completions. It's pretty rough. And then so whilst we're watching this replay, we've also got another mechanic, portals. Nick, are you still around? Do you want to talk about portals? You ported them.
Yeah, I can talk about it. One of the benefits of getting the Source Engine access is that we could add Portal 2's portals, and they use, it's like visible tech where you can go through a portal.
It's delirious. It's so like, oh my god. Yeah, it's a bit mind-bending.
Yeah, so portals in Portal 2 let you just place them wherever you'd like, and as you go through one, your view just adjusts to the direction and the everything. And while surfing, it's so confusing. Like, if you can tell which direction is up at all times during this map, you're better than me at this.
Yeah, some might say this is a gimmick, but it's a very good gimmick.
Yeah, and Plar, really good bee-hopper / surfer / mapper, just went all in on this.
Yeah, and it's completely over the top, but it's just great.
When he sent me this map for trying out, I think I spent like an hour on it just trying to figure out. What?
yeah. Okay. We got a. Where is he?
Where is Al?
Where is he? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, can we get Al directed? There we go. So we've shown some TF2 stuff. We've shown some CSS stuff. Now we're gonna go to a different engine. We're gonna show Defrag, and joining us is the one and only CrazyAI. Say hello.
Hello.
Mike's a bit quiet, but
my name's CrazyAI. Hello, can you hear me?
That's not too bad, I think.
It's not too bad.
Maybe a little quiet, but I think they can turn you up in the thing. So.
I think you're a little loud, to be honest. What map are we playing?
What are we going to? We're doing Bull Straff first? What was the first one? No, Bull Highway, I think it was.
Let's go. Highway to Defrag.
Yeah, do you want to just introduce Defrag?
Well, Defrag is from Quake 3.
Yep.
It was a mod made all the way back in the early 2000s. And it's just about, I don't know, Quake 3 stuff?
Yeah, it's quite different. It's the same engine to an extent, and some sort of similar movement mechanics, but also some really quite big differences. We've not really shown B-Hop on this stream very much anyway, but most people have probably seen b-hopping in some form. With this is just a strafe map for one. We'll show weapons and stuff coming soon, but with this you're seeing, I'm sure Al, you'll be offended by me comparing it to b-hop. But you know, there's a sort of similar mechanic here. There is bunny hopping, but the
I mean, it's definitely
different than...
I think it's definitely the most similar modes. B-hop and rocket jump, as I would say, like you can easily compare them to.
But with defrag, it's much less about like doing the kind of strafe movement of these kind of smooth turns, which is how you gain speed using the like air accelerator mechanic in Source. Whereas with defrag, it's more towards I can't remember the like math behind it, or whatever, but the angle you're facing, which is dependent on the speed you're moving at as well. And we don't have CGAS on or SnapPod or any of these kind of fancy HUD things you'll see some defraggers using, which is kind of, there's very specific angles you want to look at when you're jumping that will give you the optimal speed gain.
So it's kind of hard to describe it if you can't see it on the stream, but when you strafe jump, there is a window at a certain angle that you need to aim at, which will give you acceleration. But in addition to that, there's also, like, depending on where you're facing, you can get different levels of acceleration.
If you go to interface, then oh my god, the settings, we got so many settings. No, it's going to be an interface, then...
No, don't use CGAS, use Prime Sight.
Oh, for goodness sake. CGAS is like the good baby one, but yeah.
No, Prime Sight is better.
Okay, so yeah, if we go to, where is it? Is it in the defrag settings? I think it is, right?
Yeah, it's gameplay, defrag, and then Prime Sight.
Okay.
And then also SnapHUD. And that's all you need.
Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, hopefully the defaults aren't too bad. We have a lot of settings for this right now. Oh, it doesn't work in spec. Sorry, I think that's the thing. I think that's why it's
Oh, really?
Not showing up. Or maybe it doesn't. I'm not completely sure. Anyway, Momentum will be public soon. You can just play the game.
Yeah, so you'll see us like snapping back and forth, like left and right, and that's basically just to hit these angles for the maximum amount of speed, and hit the correct angles as well, because some angles will give you less speed than others.
Yeah,
The
so
difference kind of more restricted.
If we're comparing to Surf and B-hop, in Surf and B-hop you can just hold A and turn slightly to the left, and it just works out. Here it's way more precise, and you get way more punished for doing it wrong.
Yeah. But it's also like the maps are a lot shorter, and it's just very, very heavily optimized.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have the same air control as you do in like B-hop and Surf. It's just the turning circle is much larger, so you can't turn nearly as fast. And the faster you go, always like the bigger the turn circle will be.
Should we go back then? Should we? Can you see the spreadsheet, Excel? Do you want to? Are you good going off the stuff? Cool. Yeah, defrag is also just very old. All of momentum modes like have big history to them, but defrag especially has. Defrag itself is a game. It's free to play. You can go play defrag.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. Yeah. But it's. As with kind of, I think defrag in particular like has like such a kind of, I don't know. Defrag's this kind of like spicy, kind of slightly foreign, like spicy. Sorry,
Yeah,
like you know, kind of. It's got this
It's very like like old school gamers will know it, but someone who grew up on like Fortnite or Call of Duty will not know what it is.
But I think that's one of the good things about momentum is usually the people playing momentum like. Even if you're playing like completely different modes, like someone's a B-hop and someone's a rocket jump, I think people can kind of appreciate when like you see someone who's ground like thousands of hours into like this specific mode and like have a kind of like respect for like that like level of dedication, even though you know Surf and rocket jump are so different and stuff, right? There's a level of like insanity and dedication that goes into all of these modes,
and that's a really cool thing about Momentum Mod, having everything centralized in one game. I would have probably never tried defrag if it wasn't for Momentum Mod. I knew about it because I'd seen like videos that looked cool on YouTube.
There we go. I think we got Seagulls.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. So now you can see this HUD's quite confusing, but I don't know if we want to try and explain the whole thing, but you can.
You want to place your cursor in the blue. That's all I know.
Yeah, if you spectate someone else, I can watch and try and explain at the same time. So yeah, that blue zone basically is for acceleration. If you're ever in the blue zone, you will gain speed. There is also a red zone that's pretty self-explanatory. You won't gain speed there or anywhere else. But you also see these grey lines and sort of grey, like empty spaces between the grey dots or grey lines, however you want to look at it. So each one of them is a snap zone, even the ones that aren't coloured in grey. And you'll see that Nathan sort of strafes towards the end, like towards the border between the snap zones. And this basically drags the Seagaz HUD, the blue bar, down towards that border. And in that, it gets faster. The acceleration ramps up the closer the blue bar gets to the edge of the next snap zone. So you want to try and be in that space as long as possible before switching to the next area, the next snap zone, if you will. It's kind of confusing, but it is pretty nice once you understand it. Like the dopamine feedback is fantastic.
I was gonna say props to you for explaining it really dumbed down, and I still don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I barely get it myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just know how to do it, kind of.
But I really like
as for AD turning, you won't. They don't apply. So AD turning is the same like speed gain, whatever. Don't mean it doesn't matter. And the same when you're holding jump. So defrag doesn't have auto hop, but it does have what's called buffered jump. So anytime you're holding the jump button before you hit the ground, it will jump as soon as you land. But the trade-off for that is when you're holding jump in the air and you're strafe jumping, so holding like forward and left and forward and right to do the whole blue zone thing, you will gain sort of less acceleration. Basically, that blue zone essentially becomes smaller when you hold jump. So timing your jumps can be important to maximize and optimize speed gain. It's not a huge deal, like it's not that much, but if you want to be competitive, you know what I mean, you've got to optimize everything. So you know, a lot of people wish that a lot of other modes have auto hop, and defrag wants to keep buffered jump for reasons like that, and you know, some other gameplay reasons, basically. But it's not so bad not having auto hop, because buffer jump is pretty nice still.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's something I think you can get used to. Also, a lot of people use mouse 2 for jump and defrag, and I should start doing that. I'll probably get more.
Myself included.
Well, yeah.
And there's also the jumping onto like a staircase scenario. You can go over that.
Yeah, so defrag has what's called double jumps. So this isn't a jump and then another jump mid-air. This is you have to jump off of another platform. If you jump twice in quick succession, anyway you can do that. And 400 milliseconds, you'll get your second jump will be higher basically, and this effect gets compounded on ramps and things like that. So if you double jump on a ramp, you go much higher. But you can double jump, but it has to be off of a platform. You can't just jump again mid-air, like, you know, Unreal Tournament or Doom, whatever.
I think
with you go.
No, you go. I've got a complete tangent.
No, like you'll see anytime he jumps up onto a higher up platform and he kind of bumps the front edge of it. In my be up and surf build brain, I will assume you lose all speed. But then once he gets the height to go over that ledge, and he just keeps speed and he gets another jump.
Yeah, so this is a technique called skimming, which you see Nathan just did it a second ago. So on either horizontal corners or vertical corners, it works as well. If you land just before hitting like a corner, basically you brush past it, you sort of slide through it. So I always imagine walking through a door and hitting your shoulder on the door frame. You know what I mean? You don't come to a complete stop, do you? Unless it was a pretty hard door frame or something. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah. But you just kind of you maintain your speed, but it does cost you in terms of time. So you are, you know, for the time that you're sliding across, although we're talking milliseconds here, it does cost you time. So it's always better to not do that unless it gives you a better line through like a turn or something like that saves more time than it costs.
Okay, right there I got 2 jumps in really quick succession, which just adds the jump speed up a lot.
I think as we're talking about these mechanics, I need to give a quick shout out to Lumia, who's been our main dev on defrag, who we licensed and brought on for defrag about 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And like Source has a lot of similarities to Quake 3. It is Quake 3 is kind of the kind of grandfather engine to Source. But there's still a great deal of things that needed like porting and testing, and it's been a ton of work. And getting Defrag in this kind of state of being really pretty damn close in terms of mechanics to Quake 3 is we're really excited for.
Anyone
Also,
who's played, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, these maps have actually been auto-converted, even though they start from a different engine. I mentioned Panzer earlier, Microsoft Utopia. One of the things Panzer's been working on is we have a tool called BSP Convert, creatively named, that will convert Quake 3 BSPs, or are they map files or whatever? I can't remember, to Source BSPs. So this has actually not been recompiled or anything, it's an actual Source engine. It's originally a Defrag map, or Quake 3 Arena map, that has been magically transformed into a Source map. So that's pretty fun.
At the touch of a button as well.
Yeah, or a command line interface. Yeah, but yeah, it's been, oh my god, getting Defrag in and in the state it is so exciting. In a minute, we'll also show weapons, which is a whole other thing we've not spoken about yet.
Hell yeah! But yeah, massive shout outs to Lumia for all the hard work he's done. Anyone who's played Defrag, or one of the many Defrag clones, because there are many. They'll know that this is the closest anyone has gotten to properly recreating Defrag. So Defrag players have been let down in the past by, supposedly, new Defrag games that are coming and it's all going to be new and cool. Because Defrag's pretty old. And it's just never really worked out, and I think Momentum Mod has really hit the nail on the head and done it properly, or Lumia specifically, and Peanspeak and everybody else.
Yeah, we've got Peen and then Panzer. So Peen did a lot of the UI for this, like Seagaz and then Prime stuff and all that. Yeah, Momentum's been, oh my god, it's just, there's like, we have a lot of team members who like, were like such a pleasure to onboard, and like, people that like, with someone like Peen where we, I think he was initially, I think you linked him to us for some reason.
Yeah, he was, I met him in the Diabolical community.
Yeah, and like, as soon as we started working with him, like, he was just such a pleasure to work with, and it's so cool with Momentum, how we've sort of brought together developers from just all sorts of different games and game modes, and
yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, I like this map. The thing for me with this map is, the one time I played it, I've really seen it, I was on the last Momentum Q&A, and I spent about 10 minutes talking about bees. Just
nice.
Yeah, not talking about the game at all, just talking about like bee hives and how honeybees work. So every time I see this map, I just think about bees. It's got nothing to do with bees, as far as I know.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, with Source especially, like Defrag being a mode that has so much history, and like with Surf and all these other modes where people have pushed the skill ceiling so high, like the people that really like some of these modes are bound to really like other modes, right? And so with Momentum having the capacity to like bring people together and like literally just within the same game client, you can just go in the map selector, load up a Defrag map, and you're playing Defrag, right? Having if you're like a surfer or a rocket jump or whatever, and like making everything like so immediately accessible like that. I think it's super important, especially because there's not much money in these games, right? People don't like. There's no marketing budget for this kind of thing. Like you need to do stuff off the back of like people's kind of. Yeah.
Also, I love the comment from Lodi, an OG surf mapper who's in chat, saying Momentum is the perfect retirement home game.
Oh yeah.
And, all of these modes are just.
Yeah, you don't have to be like insanely good to enjoy playing them. Like I enjoy playing surf as like a tier 3 surfer. Like I like trying to progress, but I don't, partly because like I know that I'm never gonna be like super good, so I don't feel.
You enjoy playing a bit of Defrag as well, don't you? Now and then.
No, Defrag's great. The weapon stuff I don't have the patience to learn, to be honest. But Defrag is very.
So this map is.
This is the last map we've got on the list. It's not a weapon map, so we'll go to weapon straight after this one.
This is the probably most iconic Defrag map. It's been in all those Defrag clones I mentioned earlier. This has been ported to probably every single one of them.
Yeah.
This is the map from the Defrag World Cup 2017. It was the 6th round. The Defrag World Cup is like a big competition that Defraggers have every couple of years, let's say. Money gets raised and prizes are awarded. Basically, what you have to do, so a new map comes out every week, and it's like maybe 6-7 weeks long. And you just run the map for that week, submit your best times at the end of the week, and then it's just a big leaderboards kind of thing for these brand new, unplayed maps that have been worked on for months and months.
But that's the thing, because no one's seen it before. Like, the people actually running it don't know the route, and unlike with Momentum, where you can see everyone's replay as soon as it's done, people don't see each other's routes. And with defrag, like, we've not spoken about VQ3 at all, but it's even with CPM, like, there's quite strong constraints over like how much turning control you get, or like how much you like. The routing is just so precise, right? Getting like the perfect run is really a matter of like finding very, very precise routes and then executing them very, very precisely. I'm saying the word precise too much, but you know. Right.
Yeah, so I find that other momentum modes like rocket jump, I would say rocket jump and sticky jump specifically, are way more about completion. So just getting through the map. Like you were talking about no fails and stuff earlier, and how, you know, like there are maps that people never no fails.
I'm not sure quite how true that is, but I do think with defrag it is the case that like the maps do tend to be shorter and more route driven. But I mean, I think all momentum maps do have like routing to them, routing.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to suggest that. I was just saying how like they're much longer state maps and things like that. Whereas defrag doesn't really have that kind of thing. Pretty much all, because you can maintain as much speed as you want, you know, through the map. Like basically all the maps are like sprints. There are more technical maps that are maybe a wee bit slower. There's plenty of map styles in defrag, and there's like 20,000 maps.
Well, I think we're going to show Precision later, or is Precision 2? And recently when we were doing the new Momentum front page site, momentummod.org, like we needed a clip to show of defrag. And I couldn't find anything that was like short enough to like cut, so it's just a section of a run that like worked well together when I cut it. So I just ended up doing an entire map run, and I think Naden did it for me live because the replays don't work like this. And God, how long was it? It was, I think 24 and a half seconds or something doing this whole map run, but like doing something like incredibly precise and complex. Yeah, I think, I don't know, in some ways I could imagine some longer defrag, and there's so many defrag maps out there. I know there's some like properly long ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to shut up because we're about to show weapons. Lots of undefined. Shout out to JavaScript.
Yeah, so this map, where are we? Where is it? That's at the top, and it's new. Yeah, we should follow Nathan on this map. Actually, only Nathan can play this map because of issues, so if you're not spectating, you should be spectating. So yeah, this map was from another competition. It has rockets, it has plasma gun. So the rockets are pretty self-explanatory. You rocket jump with them. Everybody knows what a rocket jump is. Plasma's a little different. Imagine it as a rapid-fire rocket launcher, but much smaller explosions. So you kind of wall climb with it, basically. And you have to aim backwards because, like, Quake 3 defrag has the projectiles spawn in front of you. So that's why you see them looking like really far behind them. It's not like rocket jump where you can, if you're going at a certain speed, you basically shoot forwards, right? So this button here he's shooting will like give him speed in a certain direction, and that's what he uses to just fly through the end of the map.
Look at that.
And this map was made for a competition that I ran, actually. It's called TimCon. It was a LAN a couple years ago, or a year ago maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that was made for this map, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Made apparent by the TimCon LAN at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, weapons, just like a defrag, hopefully from looking at the strafe movement alone, you can see how much complexity there is to that. But then you add weapons in, and it's just, defrag, it's too much. It's overwhelming sometimes.
And there's still more, like, just strafe and weapons is only probably the two main components, but there's still a lot more in terms of...
There's like the tech and time stuff, right? And
well, there's more weapons as well. Like
there's
a couple more weapons. There's all the tech sort of maps that you see, and then
poor
we got overbounces and
so much modeling.
Yeah, like overbounces, and then more map specific things that you can be creative with. There's also like power ups. Obviously, we saw haste a minute ago, and that was like basically just makes you go faster. On the previous map, and then there's also like quad damage, so you can get like 4 times, or maybe it's 3 times. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we have that stuff in Momentum.
Yeah.
Because, like, with quite a lot of modes like this, obviously Momentum's not out yet, and some people might be watching this and being like, well, why are they adding defrag? They should just be finishing surf or whatever. And, you know, maybe there's some truth to that, but for the most part, like, most of, like, the sort of core Momentum devs don't work on defrag, right? Like, I don't think, I've never written a lick of defrag code. We have to code review stuff, but that's not too bad.
I saw you doing defrag stuff earlier. What was that?
That was adding them to a big enum with all the game modes in. So there's,
okay.
Yeah, there's a bit more typing involved and stuff, but with stuff like, you know, the back-end stuff and all that, we don't really do. Like, I don't tend to look at the defrag stuff that much besides code review. So it's always funny, like, oh wait, we have power-ups now. Because it's like, one of the nice things with that as well is we bring on a lot of devs who have then... So, Peanscreaker, who did all the crazy UI you're seeing here of the snap-pad and all that, he got on board for defrag, but has spent the last like 6-8 months or so just toiling away doing our new zoning UI for the new zone system, which we'll be able to show off soon. So yeah, a nice sort of give and take between we bring on people for game modes, but then they often contribute to the kind of base game stuff. But yeah, the power-ups and things, like it's crazy that we actually have this in the game now, because all this stuff that Lumia did. Lumia, Peen, Panzer. Clobster. Oh, Clobster's fun. This is just you go fast.
Yeah, this is like a minute and a half or 2 minute long rocket map. So rocket spam, we would call it.
Yeah.
Because you just spam the rockets, and obviously that's not like rocket jump where if you touch the ground you can't like maintain your speeds. You will maintain your speeds absolutely in this mode, and there is no speed cap either, so you can go as fast as you want.
Yeah.
Until the game breaks, basically.
Oh, Source can go. Source will the speedometer will integer overflow before the movement stops working. Source is really good for those kind of crazy scenarios. But yeah, with I don't think this map would work if it wasn't for the increased map size limits in Momentum. Like if you were to just do like defrag mechanics on like Source SDK, this map just still would never be possible because it's too big.
Defrag maps can be really big.
So we're fortunate to have all of SL and Co's, well, mostly SL, doing this absolutely massive engine refactor to allow for this.
So making maps for defrag, it's restricted in other ways though, just not as much for space, right? Or is there other restrictions?
I don't really know. I don't really map, so I can't say anything about restrictions when it comes to mapping.
Yeah, there's definitely some like goodies in Momentum if we see more people do some Momentum-specific defrag maps, which would be humbling.
Keep going.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people get.
There's one thing as a mapper, what I've noticed is the older engines like Gold Source and the defrag, all the stuff, they don't feature like model props. They don't feature any like super intricate geometry that you would see in pretty much every surf map.
I mean, they can do
definitely
it. It is potential. Like they can do it. It's just that most defrag mappers don't really. Like the standards for defrag map visuals are pretty low, but they're, especially if you look at defrag World Cup maps, you can see some really impressive visuals on maps and things like that. But it is like Source in terms of like like surf maps specifically. I think like no map, very few defrag maps come close to the kind of quality, like visual quality that you have and surf for sure.
But you mentioned defrag World Cup. I assume one of the reasons that people make a lot of effort with those maps is everyone's playing defrag World Cup, right? So everyone does play that map, and defrag has a lot of maps in the game. And one thing is Momentum that like through doing playlists and tournaments and stuff in the future, and our big old map selector where we'll be showing off brand new maps, like we're going to try very hard to make it so brand new maps get like, if you're making a map and you put loads of time into it and doing all this kind of intricate detailing, like hopefully people do play it, right? And it really gets showcased a lot because mapping takes so much effort and it's such a labor of love that I've seen Naden no-fail this map like 3 times in a row, so I know he can do it. This is such a great map because it's so fast-paced.
You get grenade launcher here as well. You don't really use it. Like you don't really use it as a grenade, like what's it called, like Demo Man, because you have these like instant explode surfaces. So the green surfaces you see, the grenades will just explode on them instantly.
Yeah, and if they don't hit the green, it's just a kind of long timer before they explode.
Yeah, it's like maybe 4-second timer before the grenade explodes.
I love our grenade model right now. We need to. Is that the old? Yeah. Wait, no. No, did Ethan do new ones? I can't tell.
No, this is the old one.
Yeah. That was someone's first modeling project, I think.
So what I like about this map is this finish line. You can get in it from both sides basically. There's like a back entrance and a front entrance. I think the back entrance is actually faster.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'd like to point out that as a surfer slash B-upper, I was able to beat this map in 40 minutes.
Nice.
Can we have a tiny bit of time left? Can we show a little bit of a sneak peek of some other momentum things? I know we brought Al here just to trade, but I would love if we could show a little bit of A-hop. We've not even shown any B-hop, but
everyone's seen B-hop. You don't have to watch it again.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, we forgot to talk about VQ3.
Also, we got Nathan, who's got world record. Yeah, VQ3 is like the thing we're watching, but a bit worse.
Yeah, so very briefly, in Defrag there's two different physics rule sets. What you were just watching was called CPM. There is another one called VQ3, which stands for Vanilla Quake 3. And that's basically the same, but like without air control and turning in the air. So Source players won't like it, but it is the best mode.
Yeah, and there's even more emphasis on routing. So
yeah,
you have to spend so much time like getting paths that make sense. So yeah, if you've seen Half-Life 2 speedruns, it was at GDQ recently with Eold and Dutch. You may have seen one of the most entertaining sections on that run is Coast, which you just go very fast. We have it in Momentum. This is A-Hop, which is... Maybe Nick should be introducing this. Nick, do you want to introduce A-Hop real quick?
Yeah, A-Hop is accelerated hop, and it is... it is just like the movement from Half-Life 2. The way that Valve patched Half-Life 2's movement was they made it subtract movement based off of your wish and or like your wish velocity, which if you hold backwards, right, is subtracting a negative, right? So jumping backwards, just straight up jumping backwards, adds velocity with each jump exponentially. I do actually have to step away for a second. Sorry,
okay.
Maintenance, but I'll be right back.
A-Hop is you get to go fast. Oh my god, I'm so upset. I'm so upset I screwed that up. Okay, I salvaged it.
You'll be sad. That's okay.
Yeah, so this basically speed is free, but air control is hardest. I just completely whiffed that. This jump I'm failing at here is kind of the hardest on the map. You might want to watch Nathan. Yeah, go watch Nathan so I can commentate. Because I just whiffed it. You have to get over here and it's difficult. Yeah, okay, so
I can also tell you that what I like to call this is B-hop on crack. For every jump you see, you want to press S.
Yeah.
Meaning the key that makes you move backwards.
Well, not quite. There's three types of jump. There's ABH, AFH, ASH. So back hop, accelerated back hopping, accelerated side hopping, forward hopping. Okay.
But what they're doing right now,
what he just did. He wasn't holding S. Where if you're facing directly backwards, you just hold jump. So the idea is, if you convince the game you're going backwards, or if you are going backwards, the game's going to give you a boost in that direction. However, that means if you jump backwards and just hold jump, you're going to get a boost. With this, if you're holding S though at any time, you'll get the boost. So there's side hopping, which is where you're holding S and then looking to the side, and you can kind of make the angle work. And then there's also S tapping and forward hopping, which is kind of the same thing, where forward hopping is when you tap S just as you land, which will slow you down, but only a tiny bit. So if you're tapping S just as you, like the longer you're holding S for, the more you'll get slowed down, right?
Yeah.
But if you just tap it like Nathan's doing here, he can just go forwards, basically. There's also plus strafe, which is a way to make the game think you're holding it, basically.
Let's not.
Yeah. I don't know if Nathan uses plus strafe anyway. I don't use it. I think it might have been there, actually. I'm not sure. So this is Half-Life 2's Coast. saying that in Bellis, who actually did this even before the map size limit change, which is crazy, he managed to squeeze everything into one map, and so you get this. It's my favorite map in Momentum in any mode. I love Coast. It's just so much fun. And yeah, A-Hop is a completely ridiculous mode, but works quite well. It's remarkable like how much nuance to it and how playable it is, given how silly the mechanics are. So yeah, we could do one more map if we've got time to show off Drift. But I don't know. I guess the organisers can let us know if they you wanna save some time and end a bit sooner. We could finish now, or
What does the A stand for?
accelerated.
Abomination.
Abomination. I'd go with that. I think it is pretty ridiculous. But it's do we want to show one more A-Hop map maybe? We've kind of gone through our whole list of stuff. But yeah, I don't know how we're on time.
But we have 6 more minutes.
Okay, 6 more minutes. Reptile. Let's show the Reptile world record. Just watch the replay.
Oh.
That's cool.
This was
Okay,
the
6
first
minutes.
A-Hop map that I ever tried,
Yeah.
and it was not fun.
Yeah. So yeah, some modes we've not shown. We've not shown any B-Hop or any Conk. Let's not overwhelm people too much. We'll just show 6 minutes of A-Hop. Show a couple of A-Hop rounds.
Although Conk would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we'd have to get someone who... Does anyone want to play Conk for like 2 minutes?
Surely Nathan
Please
knows
play
it.
Conk.
And then you want to Conk a little bit after?
Oh yeah.
What are you looking at? Yeah, Mithril... Nathan's run's legit, yeah. Nathan's got world record on this. Nathan is probably the single best Momentum player. There's also Ninja who's very good at different modes, but Nathan is... Yeah.
Yeah.
International.
It's just really precise, and not
Yeah.
only in like the timing where you jump and press S and whatever we just talked about.
Yeah.
More so in how you strafe and set up for the next jump.
Exactly.
One thing we didn't mention is that because it's Half-Life 2, you not only do you have shift to, in this case, sprint and control to crouch.
Yeah.
You also have the walk button. And,
Yeah.
and they all affect your air accelerator, how fast you can
Yeah.
turn in the air, and how much speed you get while jumping on the ground.
Talking of speed, let's go to Conk speed next.
Conk speed.
Yeah.
And it's just insane the micromanagement you need to beat this map in a way that Nathan just did
Conk
it right
speed
there.
is one of the... But right at the bottom. Conk speed whip. There we go. Yeah, Conk speed whip. That middle... You just... There, that one. Yeah, just speed. That one. And then, who's good at Conk? I assume Nathan's good.
Sure.
Do we have any super good conkers in here? No, let's switch Nathan. Oh, you can do speed in 5 minutes, right? Maybe it is a bad choice. Whatever.
So Conk is not a sticky jump. This is the I'd like to call it the inverted sticky jump.
Well, it's actually more different than you'd think, but yeah.
Yeah, so you want to be as far away from the grenade as possible while still being in its range to gain speed. And it's on a timer that you cannot really...
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much we can say about Conk, because Conk is so great. The one Conk's really old. Conk's from Team Fortress Classic. And I think it basically became a thing in right at the turn of the 2000s. So, it's, yeah, I think 1999-ish, some Conk Max started, maybe 1998, I can't remember. But yeah, it's old, and we've got Conk players who's still from around then. Someone said it's a retirement home game. I mean, Conk, yeah.
We also have the OG TFC mapper, well, what's his name?
Who we got? We've got,
Yeah, I'm making new maps who...
Oh yeah,
maps
we've got a bunch. We've got, and it's been great getting... Well, I mean, all the Momentum communities have,
Mist,
like...
yeah, thank you so much. Mist, I've seen doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, Conk is all about timing, and the Conks, yeah, they roll around a lot and they have a fixed timer, right? So you can't just spam them in quite the same way that Stickies... Like, with Stickies you choose when you dep, right? Whilst with Conk it's the completely fixed timer, and so getting the timing right is super difficult. yeah, if we don't get to the end of this map, I don't think it's too big a deal.
We got another 2 minutes.
Faded out as Nathan. Yeah, I did figure really bad choice at the last map, but yeah, hopefully this is a very easy map as well. A lot of high level conk is just ridiculous. It's like with all of these modes, like the skill ceiling's incredibly high, and people have been playing it for decades, literally decades in Konk's case. So it's been pushed as like such an extreme, and this is a relatively easy map, but like this is a very beginner friendly map. I played this map a lot. In fact, I ported this map in a weird way, unlike how other people port it. It took me hours. That's why my name's in the credits for some reason, even though it really shouldn't be. But yeah, Konk is, there's a real fluidity to it. If you see, yeah, like high level conkers, like God, who's the one that thingy? Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Konk's great.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really have too much more to add, do we?
Oh, what more is there to say about Konk? There's the politics of no. Yeah. I'm a bit zonked, to be honest. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, a lot of beeping. Yeah, we could start signing off. This has been really fun. It's been great to be back. Momentum progress, sort of chugging along. Eventually we'll get this game out. It'll be out publicly on Steam soon. It's not full release, like the leaderboards will get wiped sometime after then, before 1.0. But if people want to try Momentum out, definitely give it a shot. It's completely free to play. And yeah, you can just hop on and start playing stuff. Also looking for new contributors if people want to get involved with development stuff. A lot of our stuff is open source. Yeah. We're just coming up to limit. Let's see if Nathan can do this jump. I think we'll be finishing this map in about a minute. There we go. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, we should be just hitting estimate in that case. There's about a minute of gameplay left.
We are at the limit right now, so we could.
Yeah, no, there's no worries. You can finish this map.
Beautiful.
That jump looked insane.
Anyone else want to sign off? I don't have Nick. Nick's at work at the moment, I think, so like limited availability.
I mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I hope I didn't fumble too much of the commentary on Surf. But it was fun. It was fun, and big shout outs to Bazooki and Louie.
Yeah. I guess appropriate.
I
It didn't crash. You just have to ignore shit. Yeah. But yeah, definitely give us a wish list on Steam, or just add, if you add yourself to the playtest sign up now, and then join our Discord, you'll get a ping when 010 comes out. Pretty soon after then, you should get access to playtest. There's a chance you'll get in before then with the weekly drops, but it's very unlikely, so I wouldn't stress over it. Just sign up and wait till 010.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
with that, I think we're
So
done.
that's
Yeah,
time.
thank you very much for the showcase.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I will definitely be signing up myself.
Nice one.
Yeah, do you have any closing thoughts or whatever? Or
Keep gaming.
keep gaming. What a
Exactly. Yeah, and I hope the rest of the marathon goes well. I'm looking forward to watching some
Yeah.
of it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Next off, we are going to have the Driver Syndicate plus Citron C4 Robot. I really hope I said that right. Yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon when we kick that off.